live while I chill out for a bit. I'm actually editing a video right now for my channel, but I wanted to just like come on and see what's up so you guys can maybe chat or catch up and see what's going on with you guys. But anyways, right now the Xinjiang trip is going okay. It's supposed to be an 8-day trip. The tour company that I booked, they booked everything. They booked the driver, the tour guide, the hotels, which is cool. Um, it's the price is not too bad. I think I will break it down. Actually, that's probably a good video I can do. The breakdown of the trip and how much it would cost. And it's a great way to see China. It's a great way to get into a new city and explore it. Xinjiang is a different one because you need like permits and stuff for different cities. There are a lot of security checks through Xinjiang as well. So when we did, every time we go through a security check, you have to show your passport. You have to, like, so there a couple of times, no, one time we actually had to get out of the car and they take a picture with the license plate. It was just like crazy, but overall, it's been a really good trip. Very beautiful trip at the beginning. It's a lot of driving. We drove 400 kilometers today. We drove from this morning until this evening. It wasn't too bad. It's just that I ate something last night at a night market, and that wasn't cute. So at the night market, I had bone marrow. I had, which they grilled on a barbecue. I don't think they grilled it enough, but today my stomach was not doing too well. I think that's what's causing me problems today. I also had some like slow roasted lamb, which was so delicious. I didn't take any pictures of it or anything. I should have. And I also had some rice, which was actually not tasty at all. It looked good. It was actually one of the few places that had rice. It was cooked with lamb and stuff. It wasn't delicious at all. It was some, what was delicious? It had like a fermented cabbage, not cabbage. They had fermented carrots at the side. And because of that, that made the rice taste good. But the bone marrow was nice. They seasoned it with some cumin and some peppers, some spicy hot pepper flakes or whatever, which was quite good. So for those who are joining, I am in Xinjiang and I'm doing a tour through it. And I was sitting down here and I was like, oh, I haven't done a live in a couple of days, so it'll be nice to do a live and chat with you guys for a bit. I don't know if I want to chat the whole time. Maybe I'll do editing in a little while. So I hope you guys are enjoying my videos on my channel so far. I've done quite a few videos recently because I have so many videos saved on my hard drive for the channel. And I was like, I feel like I should upload videos now because the most recent video I uploaded was the bullet train in China. I don't know if you guys are interested in that, but if you are, go watch the bullet train video on my channel right now so you can check it out. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs up. That really helps my channel. It helps my videos go out to everyone. So I showed you guys what it's like riding the bullet train in China. It's not my first time riding it. I've done the bullet trains in China many times, obviously, with the business class. It's a little, sometimes it's double the price depending on where you're going. I was riding on that train for like maybe 3.5 hours for that bullet train. I was riding. I think I left. I think I left. I was leaving Shenzhen on that bullet train. So I did a video of it, and I wanted to do a video because I don't think I've actually ever filmed inside a bullet train business class section. I've filmed in other parts, and I have those videos as well to upload. Guys, I have been like, I need to get these videos out because they can't just sit on my hard drive because nobody's like, who's seeing them on my hard drive? Yes, I can go and sit and watch them all day, but I'm actually enjoying recording, I'm sorry, editing the videos that I have saved from over the years. Because if you're new to my channel, you would know that I have lived in China for 10 years. And it's been nice. It's been nice, and I want to share it with you guys. When I started I don't know why. Okay, I have a few reasons why. I actually do know why I wasn't posting on my China. I don't know if I'm ready to share why I wasn't sharing a lot of I can share it, it's fine, whatever. But I was married, and that guy he's a stalker. He's a certified stalker. So I actually did not feel comfortable sharing a lot of my videos with the world, knowing that he would be seeing or watching. So I did not post a lot of videos in China. Anyways, that was not my initial reason why I wasn't sharing. Wow, 40 people in here. Thumbs up if you're enjoying the live stream so far. I'm talking a little bit about what happens in China. I'm talking about the videos that I have put up recently, to so people can, see a little bit of what life is like in China, because I realize my friends and family actually have not had an idea of what's happening in China. I think it's also, I shouldn't say it's also a great way to archive a lot of my experiences and to sometimes look back at it if I want to. So I have lots of, like, I've been recording, but I will say there was a point in time I was not recording at all. Let's say, yeah, there's nothing to really share, or even there was nothing I wanted to record around that time. I was just so depressed. Um, so there is a little time in between where I didn't actually record living my life and living in China and my experiences in China. So um, I wish there was I wish I was able to, like, what do you say? I wish I was able to record back then, but I mean, the circumstances didn't really allow me to. And I think it's fine. I gave myself grace, that I didn't record when my mom had passed away, so that's okay. Shaf Shafik, how do you say your name? Shafikala? I don't know how to say your name. I don't know what's going on with me today. Thanks for joining, and thanks for messaging in my chat. Um, yeah, so I've been loving uploading the videos in China and letting you guys see what life is like here. It's pretty chill, pretty nice. Hello, Nettie. Thanks for joining. Do you guys have any questions for me? It actually can make things a little bit easier with regard to sharing a little bit about things here in China. I started the live stream by telling you guys what's happening with me right now. Ooh, a fun fact right now. I'm in Xinjiang right now. This is the most western. That was loud. That Xinjiang is the most western part of China, province in China. It borders. I did not realize it's only when I was looking at Google Maps while we were traveling. Um, oh, I'm so sorry to hear. How are you doing? I mean, I understand. Trust me, I get it. I get it. I'm glad that you get it. So there's a big portion of my life I did not record actually. But I want you all to see what I have recorded over time. But I am sorry to hear about your mom, and how I hope you're coping much better. How are you coping these days? There are some days that I have tough times, as that will happen, and I'm sure you are too. Why am I getting emotional? Um, but being able to share and talk about it, I think that makes a difference too. If you have, I'm hoping you have people around you, friends around you. Thank you, Nettie. I hope you have people around you, friends around you who have been able to support you and care about you and show you love and just give you a chance to talk. That makes a huge difference. I had friends they knew what I needed when I needed it. When my mom passed, specifically. I can't even explain how things align beautifully for me able to. have friends in my life who let me just put this in here. Let me put ask. I'm just gonna put a question thing and ask me a question about China. So this thing pops up where you can put a question in the live stream. Okay, done. Okay. Yeah. So I hope you guys can see it. It's just above my head there. Yeah. So yeah, I was telling you, yeah, I hope you have someone who you can lean on. I had quite a few people who lean on me, who I was able to lean on in different times. One thing I will say, I've always wondered, like, how am I meeting them as a friend? How am I bridging the gap that they were able to bridge for me? Like, how am I able to, what is so loud outside? Yeah, I always hope that I'm able to bridge a gap and be there for my friends just as I was there for them, as they were there for me, you know? So I always try to make sure that I'm even if it's not the same friend I can reciprocate to, I can just pay it forward. I think that's the best way I can think about it. I want to be able to pay it forward the love and support and care I had when my mom passed. I want to be always be able to do that for other people. Anyways, so to answer your question, I have a question. How long have you lived in China? I've been in China since 2015. This year will be 11 years in October. It'll be October will be 11 years since I've been here in China. It was not my intention to be here this long, but I've loved it, and that's why I've stayed here so long. And that's also why I want to to come and post videos and stuff on my channel now because I've realized I really have not been sharing. Because the other thing too I've realized is that people still have a lot of misconceptions about China. There are a lot of things they just don't know, and they don't either care to know or want to know, and or they just don't think maybe exists here. China is a different world. I would be very honest about, right? It's a different life here. It's for me, it's very simple. But one thing I always tell people, excuse me, China is not for everybody. Mm-mm. I literally just recently, and the reason I say that is because China is very different. When I first came to China, the first 3 months, my husband at the time was living in one city. Actually, y'all, everybody, the whole world knows this city now. When I first moved to China, nobody knew this city. He was living in Wuhan, and I was living like an hour outside of Wuhan by slow train, not even the bullet train. And the first 3 months, I was very depressed. I didn't have any friends. That city that I was living in, it was rural-ish. It wasn't rural, but it was smaller than, it had like 1 million people, which is actually still a very small city in China, a tiny city in China. I was the only foreigner at all, so I thought for a long time, so that was quite tough. Yeah, so I think I struggled with that. I struggled with that in the first 3 months. But what I tell people, you need to make friends who are Chinese, first of all. Make friends who are Chinese, and then it'll follow. Everything else will flow. Because once I made friends, they were able to take me to some of the best restaurants. They were wining and dining me. They wanted to show me the best of China. And I appreciated that because I wouldn't know where the best restaurants in that town would have been, you know? I wouldn't know the different hidden spots or different activities to do. I really, once I made friends, it made a huge, huge difference with the kinds of experiences I was able to have. It opened my mind, my eyes to a lot of things, and I was able to see what life was really like for other people, you know. They invited me into their family, and one of the first girls I met, she, of course, she wanted to practice. The other reason why Chinese like to make friends with foreigners is like they want to practice their English, which is fine, which is fine. And I should be using that opportunity to practice my Chinese, right? So So I mean, I can't knock their hustle. There's a little hustle they're going on with becoming your friend, which is fine. It's a symbiotic relationship at least. So yeah, so I've been in China for 11 years. That was a long convoluted way to answer that question. The other, actually, I will save that question. I think I want to do like specific videos for my channel now. Like based on the questions you ask, I'll answer maybe in a video, and I will do it on put it on YouTube. So one thing I tell people about China is that it's not for everybody. It's not. Like I've met people who've come here, moved to China, and they're still here 30, 40 years later, right? I've met people and 1 year, like they just they cannot. Life does not make sense. Life, it's not giving what it's supposed to give, or I don't know what they expect when they come to China, but 1 year and they are like, get me out of here. I don't want to be here anymore. And eventually they leave. So, for example, I met someone who she's from England and she had just moved to China, maybe like 3 or 4 months that time when I met her. And she was living in Oman previously. And funny enough, I was going to visit Oman. I was going on vacation in Oman like a couple months after I would have met her, you know. So I met her in like October and December I was gonna go to Oman. I'm like, oh my gosh. So that's how we ended up talking about a lot of different things and I was telling her, yeah, I'm going to Oman and you know want to tell give me some tidbits about it, and she was able to put me onto a contact who was able he was really helpful. He helped me with going on a snorkeling trip in Oman and stuff. And so I asked her, like, how do you like how do you feel about China? Like, do you like it? And I'm excited to talk to her because I've been at that point I was there for 10 years in China, and you could tell the hesitation. She was like, well, I don't really like it so much. She didn't say she didn't like it, but the way she was responding to me, I was like, yeah, you don't like China like that, girl. I can tell. And eventually she kind of spilled and was like, life feels difficult for her here in China. For me, life is easy. It feels safe. I feel comfortable. I don't have to look over my shoulder or wonder about anything. I could be out like 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, whatever, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I don't feel like I'm being watched or stared at. And someone posted something about this. I know me and these lives, I always go on a tangent, but a girl posted about she doesn't know what it's like to put headphones on and walk in the streets and not being harassed and not overlook over her shoulder. In China, you can do that. You can put on some headphones, walk in the streets, be on your phone distracted, and not look over your shoulder. People don't believe me about that. Even when a family member was walking with me, I was on the phone with her on a video call and I was talking to her. And it was like 11. I was trying to get my steps in. I was like, I need to hit my 13,000 steps. And she's like, why are you outside so late at night? And you have a man walking behind you and I seen a shadow. And I was like, okay, what's the problem? Why are you worried? I'm not. Because in China you feel so safe. Now, why we feel so safe? They don't have those. You lots of cameras around, so even if something happens, they can pull it up. I'm not saying things don't happen. Like but it's rare. It's really rare, and it depends on the city. Um, I've heard of people getting harassed, but unfortunately, a lot of the harassment comes from foreign people, foreign guys who misbehave themselves, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, China is different. It's not for, as I said, it's not for everybody. So yeah, so the girl who I was talking to, she said she can't wait to go back to Oman. It made sense to her. Maybe it also depends on where you're coming from, which country you're coming from. She said the cost of living was a little bit higher than China. She feels as though she can save more here. So funny enough, A week ago, I saw her again. So the first time I met her was October last year, and she was like, she was like, nope, I'm done. I'm out of here. I can't do this anymore. I am tired of China. I can't. She's like, I can't do it. China makes zero sense. She's like, I'm packing my bag. She's like, I'm out of here as soon as her contract is over. She said she makes less money. She makes a little bit less money. The cost of living is higher in Oman. She has to pay for her apartment out of her salary. And it's a lot of different things compared to China. But she said, no, in China, yes, she makes more money, but then she has to spend the money on doing like travel. Like she has to travel everywhere to get China out of her head, you know? So, as I said, it's not for everybody. And for everybody who don't stay, it's different. And for those who do stay, they love China for a different reason, you know? Depends on who you talk to. Whether you talk to a man or you talk to a woman, it's like quite different, right? Um, so let me see if I can answer another question here. Did you move there from the States or from wherever? A fun fact, I am not American. I am from Trinidad and Tobago. I am from the Caribbean. Clearly, I am losing my Caribbean accent. Clearly, I'm losing my Trini accent. Yeah, people say I don't even sound Trini anymore. But depending on who I talk to, they say they can hear my Caribbean accent peek through sometimes. So I felt as though especially when I moved over here, I felt as though I had to speak slower. I had to, my cadence of rhythm of talk changed. When I go home now, people are like, "Why you talk like that?" So I know I've lost my full Trini accent, unfortunately. So let me just let me just charge this here. Oh, you know what's a really good question to ask? In a next live, not today's live, obviously. What misconceptions you guys have about China? That's a good conversation starter, I think. But yeah. So the city I'm in right now, I want to tell you guys, is how to put it. It's it's still daylight, and the time is it's 10 to the sun is like now setting. It's 10 to 10. It's almost 10 p.m. and the sun is out. Let me show you guys. The window is disgusting. It's dirty, but I'll show you. I think I might put this live up on my channel actually. So the sun is out. The window is filthy, but anyways, the sun is out. So this is a complex outside of the hotel that I'm staying in. So as I said, I am, and it's 10. This is 10. It's almost 10 p.m. It's almost 10 p.m. here. So yeah, to answer your question, I came from Trinidad and Tobago, which is a beautiful place. But I've enjoyed living here. Um, I was only supposed to come to China for 3 years. 3 years, yeah. Because my ex-husband, he came on a scholarship to do his PhD, and I tagged along. Thank God I was working because, ooh, could you imagine not having my own money? Because when you come on a spousal visa in China, you're not allowed to work. So I would not have been able to get my own money if I had gotten a spousal visa, you know. But thankfully, yeah, thankfully it worked out and I stayed. I don't know where he is, but I ended up staying. I loved it. Um, and here I am. I've made amazing friends from all over the world. I have had awesome experiences. Living in China, being on this side, you're able to travel quite a bit to different countries as well. Um, because the cost to travel in Asia is very cheap. Unfortunately, I have seen more of Asia than I have seen of the Caribbean. Um, in the Caribbean, I've only been to Barbados, the Bahamas, which is where my ex-husband's from, and where I lived for a bit. And I feel like well, I went to one country in South America. I went to Brazil to visit my sister, and that was it. I haven't been to any other Caribbean islands, and I want to fix that. And that's the one thing I want to fix. And the second thing I want to fix is I need to go to some African countries. I feel like that's missing. I've done some of Europe. I've done almost all of Asia. I haven't done all, but I've done almost all of Asia. And it's time to knock some countries off the list. One of the things I have a little challenge with my cousin. We're trying to do 50 countries by 50, but I'm in my 50s already, so um, I have to be able to maintain this. Um, I need to get my numbers there with the countries that I'm traveling. Am I fluent in Chinese? I'm not fluent, but I can speak. I'm understanding. So being traveling here in Xinjiang, where I'm traveling right now, I'm doing a tour. Uh, I'm realizing. I was like, oh, I'm understanding way more Chinese than way more Chinese than I had realized. But yeah, I studied for quite a while some Chinese. You know what I want to do though? I want to do a year at university in China to get my Chinese up. I need to raise the level. It's an okay level now, but I think it needs to be better. Um, uh, what about Turkey? Yeah, I've been to Turkey. Turkey is beautiful. I went to Turkey in 2019, before the world was on fire. That summer of 2019 is the best summer I ever had. Because after that, I was like, whew, it's a good thing I traveled because I went to like 6 or 7 countries that summer. And there was no plan. All I knew was that I was going to start in Turkey. I had to visit my friend from Turkey who I had met in the Philippines. And I was like, girl, I'm coming to see you. And when I tell people I'm coming to see you, they don't believe me because I show up. I tell my friends, be careful when you invite me and say, hey, you should visit. I will show up. I've done that a few times and people don't believe because they don't believe I'm going to come. So, anyways, I told her, hey, I'm going to come. I booked a ticket and I sent her a screenshot. I was like, oh, look at that. I'm coming on this date to Istanbul. I'm landing. Unfortunately, at that time, she was traveling or she was doing something else. She did an internship, I think. And she wouldn't have been able to meet me until like maybe later part of my trip. I didn't even know where I was going to go or who I would, like, how long I was going to be in Turkey as yet. I just had a one-way in and a one-way ticket in. I booked a hostel. And when I was in the hostel, I was talking to a girl who had just wrapped up her trip. And she told me, I asked her, like, what were your favorite parts, which favorite cities? And she told me, and that's how I mapped my trip out. I asked her, like, what to avoid. And I got really great advice, actually. That's why I love staying in hostels. You meet very interesting people. You get such great tips, travel tips from them. They help you with mapping out your itinerary or if you have a plan or not, they can help you refine it if you based on the conversations you have with them. And I've kept in touch with people over the years, from different hostels I've met as well. And I've seen them like over the travel. We've met up over times and stuff. But yeah, so I landed in Turkey and my friend she was following my journey when I would post pictures and she was like, Ife, I'm showing my friends and they can't believe her other friends who are female and she's like, they can't believe I'm traveling Turkey solo. I had such a blast. I even had food poisoning and I still had a blast. It was one of my favorite trips. I tell people go to Turkey. It's thebomb.com. So, Turkey is one of my favorite countries I've ever visited. Do you guys have any other questions for me about China? Anything you want to know about China? But yeah, there are many misconceptions, stereotypes, and rumors about China. Yeah. Um, I mean, I'm not saying that all of the misconceptions are, or the stereotypes or the rumors are wrong. Or I just have to, there are things that I've seen and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I kind of expected that from China. And then they come and like, oh, I didn't expect this. I think one of the things that I saw, I'll tell you what deterred me was a big deal before I came to China was that um, I didn't expect it to be so well developed because when the Western media shows you pictures of China, you tend to think like it's so everything is rural, everywhere is rural. Not everywhere in China is rural. There are a lot of rural parts that are quite beautiful, by the way. And then there are parts where it's so technologically advanced. I'll tell you one thing I love about China, is that they try, since I've been here, the 10.5 years I've been here, I've felt as though they've always tried to make your life easier and easier, comfortable. They think about their people. They think, in what ways can we make your life better? And then they make that infrastructure better. They make that system better. They make a process better. So, um, it doesn't have to. My thing, I was like, going back home. Okay, let me use home as an example. When I go home, I was like, damn, it's as if the rest of the world. Okay, let me just not use home. Let me see the rest of the world. Because I've been to some country. I've been to America and England. I'm like, do they think people have to live a struggle life the rest of their life? Because since I've been in China, things have been some things that we had when I first came to China to now. It's like a huge difference with regard to how to improve the structure, of things. And I was like, damn, they really want you to just have an easier and easier life. And I'm like, I feel like the rest of the world just wants their people to have a struggle life. You know what I mean? That's how I see it, at least. That's how I see it. And that's my point of view. Maybe other people might have another opinion. But anyways, I will wrap this video up here. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will think I'll post this video on my channel. See ya. Bye.